Do you want to talk about this Dan Snyder blackmail PowerPoint? Because I kind of want to talk about that.
We
Unless you
could.
want to. All right, let's
I
do
don't.
it.
I actually don't want to talk about the MLB, but I know
That's
we
fair.
have to.
That's fair. So,
Yeah.
okay. NBC News reporting. Dan
Yes.
Snyder reportedly used quote unquote blackmail PowerPoints to lessen initial NFL punishment.
I'm actually gonna be like looking at this because
I'm okay. This is amazing. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And I quote, what was presented was not a defense against any of attorney Beth Wilkinson's findings made against Snyder. It was a series of screenshots and potentially embarrassing emails and texts from several top league executives, including Commissioner Roger Goodell's top lieutenant, Jeff Pash. The article explains. The rationale, according to a source with firsthand knowledge, was to argue the hypocrisy of league officials judging Snyder. The tactics were so ruthless that I can't even read this without laughing. That some attorneys felt uncomfortable. Although none of the content was sexist, anti-gay, or graphic, the signal was clear. If Goodell didn't do what Snyder wanted in terms of handling the Wilkinson report and punishment, these emails and texts would be leaked. Dan Snyder came in and said,
I'm so sick of these people. You know,
he just came in and he just said, I am here and I am. Remember that time when you called that woman and you said you would eat 13 coconuts just for 13 seconds with that girl alone? Do you remember that? And do you remember that one time when you were in Hawaii and you talked to that waitress and you said, I'll give you $45 for 45 minutes? Do you remember that, Roger? And it kind of worked.
And you know what's gonna happen to Dan Snyder now?
Hold on. Well, that too. He might also die. He might also.
He's gonna be taken out by the Roger Goodell Mafia.
They're just gonna
It's
snipe him in the middle of the night.
It's like
gonna be shot.
It's so stupid.
I saw this art. I was like, oh, this is news. This is funny.
So stupid.
I can't believe he had a PowerPoint set. He went here's how did this happen, right? So he's probably like, okay, here's what I need you all to do. I need you to go through my emails, go through my texts, and I need you to find this, and that. And then go on to Microsoft PowerPoint, which presumably is being funded by the league, right? So like Office 365 is not free.
No.
So presumably he's using essentially league funds to create a PowerPoint to present it. Like, I can't. This is the funniest story of the year for me.
It's so stupid.
They go into a meeting and they're like, "Oh, so what are you going to present your defense, Mr. Snyder?" And he's like, "Well, actually,
I'm so sick of these people. You know." Oh,
that's right, Stephen A. That's exactly what he is sick of these people, and he said, "You are all a bunch of hypocrites." And you know what? Obviously, Dan Snyder is a horrible person, but he's kind of right? These people are kind of hypocrites.
Somewhat.
You know, obviously the NFL, they were doing a lot of shady stuff with hiding concussions and with, all sorts of things historically. You have bad owners who essentially are just like, why are the Browns, not the team, the owners of the Bengals, they have their team practicing on not their own facility that they paid for. They're playing on a college practice facility in University of Cincinnati because they're so cheap that they don't want to give them an actual practice. And that's not illegal, so to speak. But all of these NFL owners, who, when they do punish Snyder, who should be punished, and obviously he's no longer going to be the owner of the team. But why did they get off scot-free for essentially, malpractice from their business perspective? And then even you had what's his name? Patriots dude, getting special massages, and all he got was basically he had like a year off, essentially.
You gotta ask Deshaun Watson about that one, I guess.
Well, that's another. It's like, these owners can basically just say, you know what? I know I'm never going to be held accountable.
So I'm
Like,
just gonna.
so I'm going to do what I want.
Yep.
And Dan Snyder sort of took it to the extreme in a sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
Dan Snyder acted in accordance with the reality of the NFL, which is if you're an owner, you can basically do what you want. And frankly, sometimes if you're a player, you can sometimes just do what you want. Like,
Yeah.
if you're good enough, the NFL's like, well, the cost benefit analysis of you
Economics.
playing and having some bad publicity versus you not playing and having some good publicity, it's actually better to have the bad publicity and you play because more people are going to watch, more people are going to buy tickets, more people are going to buy jerseys. Case in point, Deshaun Watson.
Simple.
Most people,
Yep.
like when Deshaun Watson came back, that was probably the most viewed Browns-Texans game of the
Ever.
season.
Yep.
And he played terribly. He didn't have to play good. Just the fact that he was on the team and the fact that you'll have, inevitably, Browns fans buy the jersey, they buy the merch. You know, he is a figure for the Browns to make money. People talk about the Browns. They write articles about the Browns. We're talking about the Browns. Like,
It's a whole circle.
There is a structure in the NFL that inevitably creates an incentive for you to just sort of ignore bad behavior and to, especially given there's a certain threshold of talent where you're allowed to, misbehave.
And then
there's also a certain threshold of like how badly you misbehave. So like you can't be Aaron Hernandez. You can't kill a guy. That's not going to work because you'll go to jail.
Yeah.
You also can't be Michael Vick and run a dogfighting ring because you'll also go to jail.
Yes.
But if you, get into some altercation with some massage therapist, and he said, maybe you punch a guy in Las Vegas, that's probably like a 6-week suspension.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams gambles at a team hotel. That's about 6 weeks. Deshaun Watson commits serial sexual assault. I don't know, maybe about 7 weeks, maybe 9. Hey, look, they're playing the Texans that week. Isn't that crazy?
Well, let's line it up with that.
Yeah. So I found that to be hysterical. Just because it's so on brand. It's so ridiculous, but it is it's so funny. The thing about Dan Snyder, I do not like Dan Snyder. Do not get it twisted. But what I will say that I like about Dan Snyder is just that he really doesn't care. Like he is so adamant about being bad, about just being a toxin to the NFL that he will, throw in these poison pills. The whole who was the coach that got fired? The Raiders coach, his name escapes me right now. It's not Roger Goodell.
No.
Why am I blanking on his name? He had the emails leaked where he called Roger Goodell an anti-football P word.
Yes.
I can't think of his name. Oh my gosh.
Josh McDaniels, since that's
not Josh McDaniels. John Gruden. So they're investigating Dan Snyder, and John Gruden gets fired. Like that whole thing. It's like, oh well, we happened to find some, emails where he said things that were somewhat, unbecoming, I guess. And so we're gonna fire him, even though we're investigating this other guy. And I remember it was like he was suing, and I don't know if that's made any headway or if there's any update on that. I haven't heard anything.
I forgot John Gruden even existed. So it's
he was a goofball.
He's
an odd guy.
He was something. But the whole situation with Dan Snyder, it's just so funny. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, right. It's like I'm laughing because I can't be
so
angry.
Dumb.
This is sort of my general, you have to really upset me to make me vitriolically angry. I just sort of laugh at a lot of these things because I'm just well, they're just, it's like they're openly showing us who they are. So I'm just all right, fine. I believe you. The Spanos family, they just said, we're leaving San Diego. Why? Because F you. That's why. We don't want to be in San Diego.
That's exactly
we want to be in LA. That was pretty much the reason. And isn't it, I don't know that much, but isn't it the brother and the sister are having a feud or something?
It was something along those lines. It's going on now or something. Yeah, it's just
still
so
angry.
Yeah.
What a great class of people we have running our organization.
Yeah.
There's like
I love
how
sports.
many like really good owners are there in the NFL? Like
Uh,
owners that I'm like, okay, I can generally speaking kind of trust you in some sense. Like
maybe on like one hand, maybe somewhere between 1 and 5.
I'm just thinking of like
I couldn't give them to
championship
you.
winning teams. I don't maybe the Steelers ownership. I don't even know.
That's the thing.
I mean,
Is like
they had
how
the
do
whole
you
Ben
judge that?
Roethlisberger thing. Like I don't
Yeah,
like it's like
you
I
can't.
mean
It's hard to judge.
this is gonna sound weird, but the Fords, there really hasn't been a major Lions controversy as far as a player goes. Mostly because our players have been bad enough that even if they did something bad, it really wouldn't have. It would have actually benefited the team in some
That's
sense.
true.
Uh,
Yes.
and like they usually don't say anything offensive.
Yeah.
So they're not. If they're not saying the only time
If
they
they're
say
not
something that's
gambling, then
offensive,
it's fine.
yeah, it's like yeah, exactly. The only time they'll say something offensive is like if they say like they something stupid, like
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
something like I don't know, like when Martha Ford said she loved Jim Caldwell and then proceeded to fire him. this
Yeah.
year.
She's
It's
like, get your ass
oh
out.
wow, yeah. She's so Martha. She's like 1,000
Good old
years old.
Martha.
She's not running the team anymore. Her
No.
daughter is. Sheila
Yeah.
seems like a nice person, I guess.
Well, that's good.
But like nobody knows. Nobody knows who these people are most of the time.
Dan
I mean,
Snyder does.
but Dan Snyder does. He has all the texts. I want that's the
He's
other
got it on a PowerPoint.
can we get this PowerPoint? Like, is this private
That'd be
information?
awesome.
Like I am fully aware that a lot of this is probably never going to come out. But like, what about in like 50 years? Like all of the owners currently will be dead. So
That's
any
true.
dirt on them will not matter. Probably
And then it's just like
I
an
mean,
NFL history capsule. Or
like
something.
literally all of the like
Huh.
Goodell will not be the commissioner because he'll probably be dead.
Yeah.
And most of the players that are playing now will be like 100, or close to very old. Like anything they could have said at this particular time, it would be totally irrelevant. It would just be like, oh, this is kind of a crazy thing in history. So
You're
there
true.
has to be
Yeah,
a
it's
point.
true.
So I am
Yeah.
imploring the NFL. I'm imploring Sheila Hempford. If people can get this video to her, because she probably has some influence, we need to get this PowerPoint. If I can just have it privately, I won't release it. I promise. On God, on the Lord and the Holy Family in heaven, I will not release this. But I just want to see what's in it. I really do.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that either. That's the
because
thing.
it's fascinating. Like, did he like have like? Did he have like special transitions? Was it like page flip? And look, there's
Do
a
you
naked
think
photo
he-
of a woman.
Do you think he used like a cube transition into something
it's
like that?
No, it's like the paper crumbles, and then there's just Roger Goodell's penis, just
And then there's
out
that.
in the open, and just
Yes.
right there, just
Oh my God!
Yeah.
just like,
And then it's just
cut
a
cut to the
nice
next scene,
transition.
and it's Sheila Ford sending sexual messages to Dan Campbell.
Oh my God!
It's like,
There's so much going on.
there's so much. I need to see this. I need to see the PowerPoint.
I mean, I think everyone does. I don't see how it's not entertainment for all. Unless, of course, you're underage, which
Well, yeah, if you're underage,
Dan Snyder's
then
PowerPoint might be
yeah,
inappropriate.
Yeah,
for that.
hopefully nobody involved is like a minor. Assuming it's sexual related, I guess if you just said if you just called a 14-year-old a stupid idiot head, that wouldn't really be nice. But I don't know that it's prosecutable.
No, I don't think so.